So I'm sneaking in basketball. I'm going to sneak this shit in. I promise you. It'll be quick. And I'm not even really going to be talking about basketball. I'm going to be talking about what happened after the basketball was played. So I know the majority of the people who listen to my show are not watching basketball. That is fine. I'm not here to judge. I think you're missing out. This has been some fun stuff this year, but no shame in it all whatsoever. I am a native New Yorker. I grew up a New York Knicks fan. Obviously, through the 80s, you can have your hit or miss teams, but obviously also in the 90s, in my youth, Ewing, Oakley, Houston, Xavier McDaniels, John Starks. I mean, we're going down the line. And, I was a big Knicks fan. I loved Jordan, don't get me wrong, but when he came to the Garden, I hated Jordan because he was a Knick killer. He really was. Another team in the 90s that I really grew hating was the Pacers. Rick Smith, Antonio Davis, Reggie Miller, that fucking gang of thugs. That gang of Indiana Pacers that came to the Garden and gave us fucking fits. I hated playing the Pacers because they were just so in your face as a team, man. They really were, and I hated playing that fucking team. And here we go again, all these years later. In 2025, the Eastern Conference Final has been set. The New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers are in the Eastern Conference Final. They play Game 1 as of this recording. This is Tuesday the 20th, so when this airs, they will be underway with Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, again, we're talking about basketball teams, but we're not really talking about basketball. What we're talking about is the fans. Not just of basketball, but for any sport, because I've seen this for several sports. But when the Knicks game was over and the Knicks beat the Celtics, it was at the Garden, so all the New Yorkers were there doing what they do, being New Yorkers, ignorant as fuck, and proud of it. I'm a proud, ignorant New Yorker, so don't you worry about it. And they took to the streets. Now, in fairness, perhaps I didn't watch all of the videos necessary, but I didn't see any flipped over cars. I didn't see anything on fucking fire. I didn't see anything that, would cause loss of life. There wasn't anybody trapped under a pile of rubble or a human sacrifice stomped onto the steps. It was just a chaotic scene. There's a bunch of people doing a bunch of shit to a bunch of other people that surround them. There's people climbing on street signs, climbing on the big, we have a big marquee screen at Madison Square Garden that gives off the events and stuff. Somebody's sitting on that. A couple of Indiana Pacer and Boston Celtic fans getting some stuff thrown at them on the street corner. It was just, one of the things that we're most famous for, whether it's for a good reason or for a bad one, being very loud, being very obnoxious, and that's where we were. A lot of screaming, a lot of throwing shit, a lot of madness, a lot of chaos. And I know a lot of New York fans, I said something on social media about it, and a lot of New York fans were just like, well, come on, AJ, you got to give us this one. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And it has. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm not excited to see the New York Knicks have an opportunity. The last time the New York Knicks were in the Eastern Conference Finals was the 1999-2000 season, where they were defeated by the Indiana Pacers in the 2000 Eastern Conference Final. So this is a rematch, 25 years in the making. This is a rematch between the Knicks and the Pacers. And yes, it's been a long time. It's been a drought. Haven't won a championship since the 70s. Haven't been in the Eastern Conference Finals since, like I just said, the 2000 season, 25 years ago. So I get it. There's some energy. There's some excitement. But Jesus Christ, you look like a fucking idiot on TV when you do some of the shit you do. And I'm taking my own town to task. And I just said 2 seconds ago, I didn't even think it was that egregious. I was just literally, I wasn't disgusted by it because, again, I'm going to give you some examples of the ones that I'm disgusted by. This wasn't one of them. I wasn't disgusted with my city at all. Just disappointed. We didn't win shit yet. It's the second fucking round. You're excited to get into the Eastern Conference Final. Why can't you be excited that we won the Eastern Conference Final? Don't get, overly excited for the second round. Let's act like we want to win more, like we're supposed to win more. Okay, we got past the Pistons in the first round. The Pistons were a rough and tough tumble team, but we got past them. We weren't really supposed to beat the Celtics, but we kind of got over. I know people are going to say, well, you lost Jason Tatum, that's why you won the series. We were already ahead in the series when he dropped. We took 2 in Boston. They got us on that third game. You're going to. It's a momentum shift thing. But Game 4 was already going the Knicks' way, and then he went down with that unfortunate Achilles injury. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee that we were going to win this series. No one can guarantee anything. There was still a lot of basketball left to be played. But we were already doing well, and the loss of Jason Tatum just kind of cemented that it was going to be a thing. I know people say, well, they're just as good without Jason because Brown steps up and this person and that. They were going to lose this series. They weren't in a rhythm. They weren't feeling it. They got cold in important situations. They were just never going to be able to pull it out. And they didn't. So now we get to the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Final. This is going to be another tough matchup. So I don't even know what all the screaming is about. You're excited that you just got there, and I'm not down with that. Now, again, I'm not disgusted with my city. I'm just a little disappointed. Well, we'll get over it. I'll get over it. They'll get over it. We'll see each other tomorrow night. Game 1. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are we home? The first game? I'm pulling it up now. Hold on one second. Knicks Pacers, right? Who wins the East? Nice. And where is the... Yes, we're here. Now, Game 1 is here in New York. So it should be an interesting time as the New York fans welcome the Eastern Conference Finals here at Madison Square Garden. And the fans in general, this is not the first time that the fans have gone banana over sports wins. I mean, Philly just won the Super Bowl back in February, and they were determined to burn that city to the fucking ground. There was a civilian riding horses, and I was saying before about flipped cars, shit on fire. It was a massive scene. What was it the cops said? It was a chokehold of people through the streets of Philadelphia. And I've been to Philly a bunch of times. Those are not big streets. But also, that's a very passionate town for fucking sports. I've been to a lot of big cities in the country. Philly, Boston, Dallas, Los Angeles, Orlando, I guess you can count. I haven't really made my way to Miami yet. I'm not a single man. I've got no business in Miami. But I've been to a lot of sports towns. I'm waiting to go to Chicago. I have yet to go to Chicago. That's on my bucket list. I'm going to Chicago at some point. And I'm going to be headed to Canada very soon. More news on that coming up. But I've been in a lot of sports towns, and there's a lot of passion when it comes to the sports. But the burning shit and the destruction of property and the flipping of fucking cars, I don't get it. I personally don't understand it. What does that have to do with anything? Why do people feel the need to have to go that goddamn far with literally any of it? I don't get it. I don't understand. But not, to each his own is not really up to me to fucking decide. So we as a people here in New York, we can be better than this. And there's a couple of other towns. I remember hearing once, I think it was it Denver? Denver almost basically set off a fucking bomb in the middle of the city. Like, there was this whole ordeal when they won their last Super Bowl with, I think it was the Peyton Manning run, where they just flipped the fucking town completely upside down. Just destroyed all kinds of shit. It was crazy. It was crazy. And it's happened a few fucking times. I'm not comparing the two, but to add to the hysteria and the push of things when it comes to massive, exciting hysteria. The scene on, I guess it's basketball courts, and it used to happen in college. So this is school, like university student body and shit like that. When the game was over and the crowd rushes the court. They used to do it in college football, too. They would rush the field when the game was over. And they hop the barricades, they hop the rails, and the field and the court just get filled to the brim with people. It's a mass of bodies and people just bumping into each other and causing injuries. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand the hysteria of it. That would make me crazy annoyed to just be in the presence of that. That kind of mass hysteria. It would bug the fuck out of me. I would never be able to do that shit or be a part of it or even want to be around it. The screaming and the yelling of oh my God. Listen, when my team wins, you see the excitement on my face. I might let out a little bit of noise. You know, I might get a little excited, just yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like really getting into it. Sports fan, I'm a sports fan. Always have been. But you're not going to see me fucking like the videos of people punching their TVs and shit like that. Like that, you look goofy. You look goofy when you do that. When you punch with those people, and most of those videos, by the way, folks, they're fake. Right? They were getting rid of that TV anyway. And a lot of people, they break the TV, it's for the views and for the clicks. A lot of people. Very few times is it authentic where they just get so upset they punch a fucking TV for real. So, yeah, that's not going to be a whole thing at all for people. Excuse me, not a whole thing for people. It's not going to be a whole thing for me. You're never going to hear a situation, AJ got pissed so he punched the fucking TV screen. That's never going to fucking happen. Ever. And I just don't get what you get out of it. How does it help you? How does it, whatever. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to what I think sports really should be all about. You're living vicariously through these people. You're winning and you're losing and you're dying and you're living by the sound of the buzzer and the whole shebang. The lows and the highs are so crazy. I've seen people when their team's losing and you just see it in their face. They're in the crowd, the hat's off. They're just sitting there just disgruntled as fuck. But then the stress of your team's winning and it's almost over. Please, dear God, just let us keep this score the way that it is for the remainder of the time, and then you just explode when the game is over. It's, especially when your team wins the championship or something big. Man, it's euphoric, and you jump up, and your team you've been rooting for all year finally wins the big one. You get excited, damn right. You do a dance, you throw your fist in the air, you start to yell, God, yeah, you go nuts. You don't flip a fucking car over. Like there's a limit. It's not an excuse to destroy shit. Jesus Christ. But, again, to each his own, I fucking guess. Because there's going to be people who do it fucking regardless. Regardless. I can sit here and talk about it all goddamn day. But it is what it is, man. Anyway. I got off that soapbox, right? Celebrate however you want. But Jesus Christ, just know that when you do it, I'm judging. And I'm disappointed in you. Control yourself. Be a fucking adult. Be mature. And celebrate with some goddamn dignity and class. Huh? How about it? Yeah, I know I'm getting old. Go fuck yourself.